Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. My car.
Bubble car update number 1. I'm going to show you a few bits and pieces we've been up to so far. There's probably a few things we could have filmed, but we haven't, you know how it is, but I'm going to try and film some stuff as we go along. So I'll show you what we've done now then. Right, so the entire car's stripped down now. So it's just in a bag just to keep the weather off it for now. So we won't really be touching the body of that for a while now really. So we're going to get all the other components sorted out, clean them up, painted up. Once they're all done, once we get to the summer, hopefully we might be able to do some of the body work on it. So I'll show you some of the bits we've done already. So here's some bits we had sandblasted. We're already in the middle of painting some of them. See the pedal assembly, and a mud guard. So this was absolutely rotten. This looked like it was good for nothing. It's obviously, it's still not great. Once it's got a bit of paint on it, it'll do the job. It'll look alright, that. So as well as sandblasting, we've also tried a bit of electrolysis. This was my dad's idea. It seems to be working quite well actually. As you can see here, this minging bit of this guard that goes underneath. It's pretty rusty, pretty minging. But if you have a look at the bit that's been in the liquid, you can actually see that's bare metal there. If you was to give that a bit of a scrub, you probably scrub most of the rest of that off as well. So obviously turn that upside down, put the other end in. That'd be as good as new. That, take a coat of paint, be almost as good as the day it came out of the factory. So that's just an interesting way. It's an interesting way of cleaning bits up. It's another option we can use. I'm sure there's probably pros and cons of doing it both ways. We were worried that maybe if we put stuff in here, it would end up with nothing left. It just corrode the whole thing away, but it looks like it's working, which is pretty good. So we'll probably use that again. So here's that guard, the skid guard from the car, where the master cylinder goes, so to protect it. That we're doing electrolysis on. And you can see it's been here 24 hours, but you can see where it was in, where it isn't. It's clearly made a difference. So give it a bit of a rub down, it'll probably be as good as new. That it's not bad, is it? I think it's pretty good. Anyway, I'm pretty impressed for something you do at home. What is it? Just a bit of baking soda, Dad? Yeah, just a bit of baking soda and some electricity, and that's what you can do. Yeah, put the battery charger on it. Yeah, cool. And just one last little go over with a wire brush, and look at that. Nice and shiny. So just needs to go the way around now. I'll do the other side. So my dad's just painting a few bits here now. So some of the external components. So we've got the hubs here. So these are getting a nice thick coat of hammerite, smooth right as Miller keeps calling it, just to keep the corrosion away. So these should look quite nice when they're done. Keep the rust away for another
50 years.
50 years, it won't be 50 years, but it'll definitely keep my away for a while anyway, which is good. Yeah. And then some of the internal components, the ones you want to look a bit nicer, they've already had a bit of an undercoat. Sorry? I know what it is.
Yeah.
Nice. Here's the rear damper. Bought this off my new best mate Steve from the Bubble Car Club. When it arrived, it was like a pile of rust. Almost as good as new, that now. Check that out. It's not bad, is it? So here's one of the damper housings. And a common problem with these is that they split. And the actual aluminium here, one of them was split really bad, one of them a hairline crack. But luckily, we know someone who can do aluminium welding. So there's 2 bits that have been fixed. And they're ready to go, which is good. That's another job we've got done over the past couple of weeks.
Like what we need is the other piece that goes onto the carburetor. It's got like a flange on it, and then the pipe that joins them goes on there. Anyway, it's the piece that goes onto the carburetor that's missing.
Right, so if anyone has one of them that you're willing to part with, then we'll appreciate you leaving us a message for that. Comment or send us a private message or something. And actually, while we're at it, we really need a master cylinder. So if anyone has a master cylinder, then also leave us a message for that as well, because that's one of the main parts we're missing. We seem to have about 90% of the car, and there's just a few key components missing. There you go, Uncle Roy's turned up again. He's got his hands in his pockets. Surprised he hasn't learned from last week.
Well, what happened last week?
Well, last week you did for an hour holding the door while we were trying to get the pin out.
Yeah. What happened to that?
Yeah, you've wiped it out your memory. You were here that long.
What happens after?
Yeah, it came out, didn't it?
Beep, 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 beep. His horn went beep, beep, beep. Now we're doing 120 as fast as I could go. The bubble pulled alongside of me as if I were going slow. The fella rolled down his window and yelled for me to hear, "Hey buddy, how can I get this car?"